Today, we're going to learn how to cut a cigar. Welcome to Copper Canyon Cigar Chat. I'm your host, Joe Pasquale. We're going to talk about cutting a cigar, the different ways to cut a cigar, and what your preference might be. There's really no bad way to cut a cigar. It all comes down to personal preference. The three main ways to cut a cigar are a straight cut, a V-cut, and a punch. They're all great in their own way. Again, it really comes down to what your preference is. And after you smoke a lot of cigars, cut a lot of cigars, you're going to figure out the best option for you. So today, we're going to first start off with talking about a straight cut. A straight cut is your most common type of cutting a cigar. I'm using a Cigars XI2 cutter. My preference, it's a great cutter, double blade, easy to use. And I'm going to be cutting this through estate Norteño. So right here, we have our cigar. You notice at the top, there's this cap, and it's got this little shoulder on it. The best thing to remember is you can never undercut a cigar. You want to cut as little off as possible, but still give yourself a good smoking path. A lot of times after you cut it, you can do a cold draw on the cigar to feel the air moving through it, because you can never uncut a cigar. So you take a lot off of it and you get a bad draw. You can't uncut it. So you cut off as little as you can, get a good draw, and then after a bit of smoking it, if the draw gets tough, you can always cut it more. So right here, I want to leave a little bit of the shoulder on. I'm going to get the cap here. We're going to do a nice little cut. Boom, just like that. There's our cut. Really nice. Slightly angled, but a really nice straight cut. That should smoke really well. That's a great cut. Next, we're going to talk about doing a V-cut. So a V-cut is, again, all preference. You're going to find guys that like V-cuts. They don't like a straight cut for whatever reason. They don't want as much tobacco in their mouth. The V-cut, there's a nice Craftsman's bench cutter. Really, you can't overcut it because you're going to put the cigar right in this little groove right here, and it's going to make a nice V on it. We're going to cut this undercrown shade from Drew Estate. I'm going to line it up, snap it right there, and you can see it made a little V cut right there. So it's awesome. Fantastic cut. A good smoke from it. The thing about a V cut is if you V cut it and then in the end it's not smoking as well as you want it to be, then you can just straight cut it if you want to. Or, check this out, some guys will double V cut it and make like an X into it. Like that. So you V cut it this way, V cut it this way. Again, it's all preference. You're going to find after smoking for a while what you like. And then we're going to do a punch. So it's a punch cut. Again, you're just perforating the cap. You're going to use a punch cutter, preferably one sharp. So after a while, they do get dull. We're going to zoom in on here. So a punch, I have a lighter here that has a little punch on it. I'm going to have my cap. Here's my punch. I'm going to line it up right there in the middle, and you're just going to press down right into that. Get it in there. You're going to take it out, and it's going to leave a little hole like that. That's a punch, and you will be able to draw through that. Again, just like the V-cut, if you're not getting a good draw, or after a bit, it's not drawing well, you could straight cut it. You could try to punch it again. You could kind of feel out the cigar, feel there's any knots in it, but you always have the ability to cut it a little bit more if you want to. So again, today we talked about a straight cut, a V-cut, and a punch. Good accessories are really necessary in the cigar game. So after you've been smoking for a while, if you feel like you're going to keep smoking cigars, invest in a nice cutter, invest in a nice lighter, invest in a nice humidor, because these accessories do make smoking cigars way better. If you have a bad cutter or a sloppy cut, the cigar starts to unravel on you, you're not going to have a good smoking experience. The cut is really, really important. On our channel, we're going to talk about cutting, we're going to talk about lighting, we're going to talk about pairings with cigars. So keep following us here on Copper Canyon Cigar Chat and learn everything you know about cigars.